it's possible, but they couldn't do it. It's like, it would be like, yes, is the answer. But it's like any other law. It has to be passed by the Assembly, rabidly Democrat. The Senate, probably could happen, who knows, and the governor. And then I go back to what I said, Kevin.
But there's no way a person like me can do anything about it unless my town's zoning and laws protect me. That's what you're being asked to do by some of the residents in your town. But it's very, very clear.
At the federal level, the United States Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. They're the last word on anything. Say, no, I don't care what your local law says. When I'm in the oil and gas industry, or I'm under contract to the oil and gas industry, either one, that works. And when I touch xylene, when I use benzene, when I spill toluene, whatever it is, it's not a hazardous material or an industrial waste or a hazardous substance or so forth.
About like distribution, and I'm really concerned in the designating the areas that you discussed.
We will be talking with you further.
Okay.
Thank you.
The oil and gas industry is the most powerful industry on the planet. They have some of the very best lawyers on the planet, and their pockets are more than deep. So if they decide that they want to come into a community, either to drill or to dump waste, because this industry's biggest problem right now is dealing with its waste stream, both solid waste and liquid waste. And they are hot to trot to find places where they can either go through underground injection for the liquid waste, or they can dump things in, on the ground with respect to solid waste. So we think that a lot of these towns are at risk unless they deal. The main reason that it's so difficult for town boards to get their hands around is that when town boards are attempting to deal with their land use laws and try to figure out what makes sense for their town and what doesn't make sense, they've got a whole host of tools available to them. Setback requirements and things like that. They might say, yes, we want this particular kind of use in town, but we don't want it closer than whatever number of feet, let's say, to a school or other high impact area, a sensitive area. But the state has taken away, there's a statute called the Environmental Conservation Law 23-0303 subsection 2. That statute takes away the ability of local municipalities to regulate the gas industry. Doesn't mean you can't prohibit it. And every single court in New York State who's looked at it says absolutely local municipalities do have the authority to prohibit this use if they want to. But if you don't prohibit it, what this ECL 23-0303 subsection 2 says is if you haven't prohibited it, it's totally up to the state how it gets done.
So that pretty much leaves local towns, if they say yes, they're not going to be able to regulate anything. These companies will be able to do what they want.
That's black letter statutory law in New York State. No lawyer on either side disagrees with that. The statute is clear, you can't regulate it. You can't regulate that industry. And the typical land use tools such as setbacks and the like, the municipalities, town boards do not have, that tool has been taken away.
So do you think that's why there's a lot of towns and villages around the state deciding to say no?
I think that, yeah, I know that's why. I think it's important to realize that many of these towns that are saying no, either with a moratorium or a more permanent law, no doesn't mean no forever. And some of these towns, if it turns out 2 years from now, 4 years from now, 3 years from now, that the industry gets better than they are today, and they've already gotten better than they were 5 years ago, then I think you'll see some of these people, town boards, municipal boards might say, you know what, we're going to let them in. But not now, not until they do a better job with things.
Well, I think the man's very capable at what he does, and we're going to instruct him to proceed with the necessary material that we need. He's going to work through our lawyer, and we have to have a resolution at our next town board meeting to authorize him to do that, which we will do. Kevin, our attorney, is going to draw the resolution, and we'll present that at our next town board meeting.